Thanksgiving, everybody.
Okay, so we're ready to continue our work session. Mr. Barrett has arrived.
Hi. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
you weren't
So-
waiting long for me, huh?
No, that's okay. It's 7 o'clock.
I am 2 minutes late.
No, we kind of were just ahead of our schedule.
Okay.
We're good. You know May Prayer is unfortunately not able to join us.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Good?
Very good, thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me to come down to review your audited financial statements for the year ending May 31st, 2023. And a couple of years ago, I didn't have to do this, but now I do.
I'm with you.
So, oh, there we go. Okay. Our audit confirms what you guys already know. This is a pretty busy place. There's many things going on around here. So,
That it is.
if I can, right behind the facing page is the table of contents. Every government in the United States of America that wishes to issue an audit report on their financial statements has to have pages 1 through page 70 that we have on here. And then the village has decided to include some other supplementary information having to do with the library fund, the pool fund, and the community development fund, combining balance sheets, and also on their capital projects fund, which is other supplementary information. We own the first 4 pages. Everything else is your financial statements. Behind our auditors report, again, all governments will have a management discussion and analysis, which will describe the financial highlights that happened during the year. Also give a discussion between the village-wide financial statements and the fund financial statements, the way they're accounted for. And then we'll also compare the village-wide financial statements, what happened this year to last year, and also the same thing with the fund financial statements. We'll also disclose and discuss capital assets, long-term debt, economic factors in next year's budgets, and then if the reader wants to contact somebody at the village, who they should contact, where they should send their inquiry to. On the next page is our independent auditors report, and in a second paragraph, we say that the financial statements in this report present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the village. Pages 5 through 12 are the management discussion analysis that I spoke about. But if you can go to page 13 and 14, these are the village-wide financial statements. And they are prepared just like a commercial entity would prepare their financial statements. It's on a full accrual basis. You'll see long-term assets such as capital assets. We have this year a lease receivable. You also have non-current liabilities, your bonds payable, compensated absences, judgments and claims, workers' compensation, pension liabilities, other post-employment benefits. And you won't find them in the fund financial statements, which are prepared on the modified accrual basis of accounting. You will note that the net position of the village is a deficit. This is common with all, certainly New York State governments. The unrestricted deficit is offset by the other post-employment benefits payable at $58 million. There's no way any government in New York State can pay that obligation. There's nothing you can do, but you do have to put the other post-employment benefits payable on the books, and that's what causes the net deficit. 6-7 years ago, before GASB, I think it was 75, this liability didn't appear, and the net position, of course, was different. Page 14 is the full accrual basis, the statement of activities, it's called, very similar to an income statement on a full accrual basis. Again, this is the requirements, how it's to be presented. And during the year, if you go 3 lines up from the bottom, the village had a slight increase in its net position of $543,000. But if we turn the page, finally we get to what we're familiar with. The village keeps its books and records based upon its funds. And it has, as you know, 3 major funds, the general fund, the water fund, and the capital projects fund. And the 4th column is a combination of the non-major funds, library, pool, and community development. This is the balance sheet, all the assets that you had at May 31st, 2023. And if I could, if you look at the water fund, it has a fund balance of $2,039,000. That represents a little over 7 months of the current year's expenditures, which is excellent. And then also, if you go to general fund, the unassigned fund balance of $9,410,000 represents almost 5 months. Again, excellent. Village is in excellent liquidity. Should unforeseen circumstances come about, you're in excellent shape.
Is that the guideline? Is there a guideline on how many months we should have as?
There's a general guideline, which I'm going to say is very general, because the government's big, small, and
Right.
stuff. The general minimum guideline is 2 months.
Oh,
Okay, so, and we're better than 2 months. And who knows what the state's going to do? Who knows what funding's going to be? I'd much rather have what we have than 2 months.
I agree.
Okay. Page 17 is a statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. And again, this is akin to an income statement for the funds. And if you go 3 lines up from the bottom, you'll see that the general fund balance did increase $2,177,000. The water fund did increase $335,000. There was a big decrease in the capital projects fund, and that's because you had borrowed in the prior year and you're spending those proceeds. So those are all expenditures which will decrease your capital projects fund balance. The revenues this year are about $2 million higher for the general fund, $25 million compared to $23 million in the prior year. The state came through, or mortgage tax increase helped us on that regard, as did with additional CHIPS funding. We have some host community benefits also, which increased $150,000. And we're finally getting some money from the banks with our uninvested or our cash, where you used to get 0.01%. Now there's a number to the left of the decimal point. Also, departmental income. We had some special permits from Langone and a little bit of a development incentive bonuses from 101 and 105 Sterling. That increased $566,000. The water fund, departmental income, the water sales, if you will, increased 2.85% from the year before. And as I said before, you're in excellent financial shape. Pages 19, I think, to 64 are the notes to financial statements. I'm not going to read those notes to you. I'm sure you have important things to do. But on page 37, I just want to point out all the activity that's in the capital asset account. We finished the administration building. We finished the work on well 7. We bought some vehicles. I think we bought a fire truck, a sweeper, and that's all reflected in here. And your net capital assets increased from $48 million to $58 million. Again, on a full accrual basis. The next page, your non-current liabilities, they were $39 million. Now, at the end of May 31st, 2023, they're $38 million. And most of that increase is because of payments on the bonds and the amortization of the premium on the sale of the bonds, which account for $737,000. And your tax certs also have decreased $214,000. On page 40, there's a required listing of how your debt gets paid, both your principal and interest, and you have it perfectly. It's just $1.7 million every year, so there's no real bumps or any surprises that would come up in the ensuing years. Starting on page 43 to 56, the required footnotes on your 2 pension plans. One is for the employees with the employees' retirement system. We really don't have anything to do with that. That's run by the controller, but there's a shortage in the employees' retirement system. It's only 90% funded, and that difference gets allocated to every government in the state of New York. And our piece is 0.02% of that, and it's $4,528,000. LoSAP liability is, for the firemen, is a $7 million liability. It's 74.6% funded at the time they did their actual evaluation, which was December 31st, 22. And that's down pretty much the same percentages that New York State went down. New York State was 103% funded, now it's 90% funded. We were 89% funded and 74% funded, and that's pretty much based upon investment earnings, or lack thereof, for the decrease. I'm not going to go through the rest of the notes, but the first bit of required supplementary information on page 65 has to do with the general fund, and page 66 has to do with the water fund. And these required schedules I find interesting in that you're required to compare the original budget, the final budget, with your actual results. And as you can see, you estimated that your revenues would be $23,268,000, and you're a little bit over, $25,027,027. Again, mortgage tax, the permits that we talked about, some of those other things that came in that helped us go over what we thought our estimated revenues would be. Your expenditures, you have a spending plan, and you've spent 98% of your budget, and I don't think you can do much better than that. That's, again, very, very good. If you turn the page, it's the same thing for the water fund. There we spent 98.6% of what we thought we were going to spend. So again, excellent. The fund balance went up. Very hard to estimate your water fund sales. Is it going to be a hot summer? Is it going to be a wet summer? So you should be, and you are conservative with that. Who knows? I think this year, even though there's an increase in water rates, I think next year when I present your water sales are going to be less, because it was kind of cool and it was pretty wet. So. On page 71 and 72 are the balance sheets for your non-major funds, the library, swimming pool, and special grant, and also, if you will, the income statement for those three funds. On the next page, on page 73, is a summary of your capital projects that were active at the beginning of the year. They're all still active, or still have funds in it. And the biggest ones that are going to be complete, I think, is the fire department across the street and well number 4 that we're working on. We also have a report based on an audit of financial statements performed in accordance with government auditing standards. And then we also are required to report to the Board of Governance any difficulties we had, any disagreements we had with management, if there were any uncorrected journal entries that we thought should be made to these. We don't find many journal entries. I was going to say this later, but I'll say it now. Mr. Giacone and his staff are excellent, very cooperative, and we certainly appreciate that. We had a new team come in this year, and new set of eyes to look at things, and I'm supposed to be the auditor to give you bad news, but I don't really have bad news to give you. So, no, it's very good here. I don't know if you have this. I have a white sheet. You do have this?
Yes.
Okay, it did make it. Yep, okay. It's sort of a history of the general fund, the water fund, and library and pool fund, starting with 2017, because that's all I could fit on the page. But if you look at the general fund, your total revenues, and they're increased a little bit for 22 and 23 because of the ARPA funding, federal aid, the ARPA funding.
Mm-hmm.
But the total increase in revenues is 3.3%, the average increase, I should say, from 2017 to 23. Real property taxes is 1%, is the increase in there. Your total expenditures from 2017 to 2023 increased a little less than 4%, 3.98%. And the biggest increase is the road work that you do in transportation. And cost for that goes up. If you look at your fund balance, it's increased from June 1st, 16 was $9,778,000. It's now total fund balance at $16,257,000. Some of that is in the fire service award, the LoSAP, so that's restricted. Some of that's prepaid, and about 9 million of that 16 million is unassigned. And 20 and 21, we gave back some of the fund balance, with not raising the taxes. Next page is the water fund, and the total revenues there. Taken out in 2017, not including the $1 million that was a developer's bonus that was put in here. The increase comes out to an average of 2.84%. Expenditures, as we know, are going up in the water fund, 6.28%, with borrowings having to do with the I can't say the word now, but the guidelines, to
PFAS.
thank you. The PFAS and the 1.4, but it's the Department of Health, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking of. And during that time period, from June 1st, 16 to May 31st, 2023, the water fund balance had some ups and downs, but overall it's gone up $804,000. And finally, the library and the pool, doing very well. At June 1st, 16, the library had $19,000, and now it's $120,000. And the pool fund balance at June 1st, 16 was $61,900, and now it's $277,000. So that concludes my financial report. We had two other matters that we had to take. One we always do is required village justice. You have to do an audit on a cash basis for the village justice account. There's nothing remarkable to be said there. And also, the federal government requires, and we did an attestation examination on your ARPA funds, and the funds were spent properly. And that concludes my report. And if the board has any questions, I'd be happy to. Go
I
over.
thank you. This is a lot to go through.
I forgot, I should have said too, we, not only Mr. Chaconi's people, which we bother and ruin their days when we're here, but other people in other departments that we, excellent cooperation, which we appreciate.
Well, thank you. I think that you confirmed what we thought and what we've been trying to do. We're trying to be very fiscally conscious when we make decisions. And I agree with you, but it's nice to hear from professionals that we have a great team. So
We do.
they're great at helping you and coordinating with you, but they're great at managing what we're doing in the village, also with fiscal responsibility. So I thank you, and I thank them tremendously. I do not have any questions. Does anyone on the board have any questions?
I do. Deputy Mayor, just a positive, Mr. Barrett, good evening. Good
Hi.
to see you again.
Good seeing you.
So I just want to go back to something that Mr. Barrett said, that your November 2nd letter,
Yes,
you mentioned that we encountered no significant difficulties in dealing with management in reforming and completing our audit. And that speaks volumes for Mr. Chacon. Great job. Thank you.
Bravo.
I don't think Mr. Chaconi would say it, but I think at times we can be a pain in the neck, let's put it that way. But you wouldn't know it from the people that we're dealing with, They drop what they're doing and allow us to proceed.
That's wonderful to hear. It just, again, confirms what we feel about them.
Jocko, great job, Jocko. Thank you.
Mr. Trustee Clark, do you have any?
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Solano?
No questions.
Well, I thank you tremendously for
Thank
you
you.
and your team and all the time it took to go through our stuff to develop all of this. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving again to everybody.
Yes, have
Okay.
a wonderful Thanksgiving.
And
to you
stay
your
well,
family.
everybody be well.
You as well.
Good
Enjoy
night
the
now.
holidays. Thank you. Mr. Chacon, would you like to come up now and go through the rest of your resolutions?
First one is resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts and adopts the audit report of the Justice Court for fiscal year ended May 31st, 2023, as prepared and submitted by the village's independent outside auditors.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Salaski. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the next item is resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts and adopts the audit report relative to the financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund and aggregate remaining fund information of the village for the fiscal year ended May 31st, 2023, as prepared and submitted by the village's independent outside auditors.
Do I entertain a motion?
Motion?
Motion by trustee, trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And again, thank you. On behalf of Mayor Pereira and all of us, we really thank you for all your work. You keep us to the letter, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to roll right into our public meeting. Just want to tell you some things that have been going on in our village. First and foremost, I want to congratulate boys soccer. They won Long Island champions, so congratulations to our varsity soccer team. You did amazing in keeping us very proud of you guys. You guys worked really hard and you earned it, so we really appreciated it. Our girls volleyball team, varsity volleyball, they have also won Long Island champions, and they are going on to states this weekend. So they are playing on Saturday. I believe it's at 12:30. So we wish you all the best. We know you guys are going to rock it, so good luck to you guys. And in honor of both of those teams, as well as our marching band, who also won first place this year, we are going to have a parade of champions. So that will be held on Wednesday the 22nd at noon. It is kicking off on Jackson Avenue and Herrick's and Jackson Avenue, right over by the high school. So come out, show how proud you are. These kids worked so hard. So we're very proud of them, and we just wanted to show them a little love. So come out again on the 22nd at noon on Jackson and Herrick's. Let me just see what else we got. I'm sorry. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. So that with the route is going to start in Herrick's and Jackson, and they're going to go down Jackson and end at Memorial Park. So either meet us along the route or meet us at the park, and we will, at the grandstand at the park, you'll hear from the coaches, and we'll have a little celebration for them. So definitely join us. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Take a little time, show a little love to our teams. What else is coming up? So Thanksgiving's here, and what's after that? Christmas. So on the 1st, we're having a tree lighting right here across the street at Village Hall. It is on the 1st at 7 p.m., so come for our tree lighting and celebrate with your neighbors, the kickoff to the holiday season. And as we just said in our work session, remember that there is a reprieve on meters for from November 25th to the end of the year. So come and shop at our stores, come dine at our restaurants, and enjoy the season here in Mineola. In addition, since it is Thanksgiving, there is a change in the sanitation schedule next week, so please check your calendars to see which days are on and off, but obviously Thursday there is no pickup, so check the changes on the bulletins that we send you. And last but not least, the commuter parking stickers for 2024, the applications are now available both online or at the village clerk's office. So feel free to start getting your passes now for parking for the train station for 2024. And that's all I have.
Deputy Mayor, thank you.
Trustee Casado.
So first and foremost, I want to thank those who took part of our Saturday's November 11th Veterans Day ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to remember. And I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Charlotte High School, there's flags posted along the Jericho Turnpike area. And I noticed it, and through a phone call, each flag represented a current member of the Charlotte High School who wanted to pay their respects to our veterans, and a great gesture by Charlotte. I also wanted to thank our marching band, boys soccer, girls volleyball. You know, I am no stranger to the Mineola High School marching band. In the early 1990s and the late 90s, my two girls were part of the marching band. And I know the commitment, the hard work and dedication that's required. You know, the practices, the competitions, and halftime performances, so good luck to them. And with that being said, I am no stranger to the girls volleyball team. Again, my younger daughter, back in the 90s, was a part of the varsity volleyball team for 4 years. And now her daughter, my granddaughter, now plays Mini High School volleyball as a JV student. So again, congratulations. I went to all those finals. The quarterfinals at Mineola, the semifinals at Westbury, the county finals and Long Island championship finals at Osunio or Westbury. Incredible, incredible games, particularly the county finals against Wantor. It took 5 games to determine the championship. And you know what, Wantor played well, but we played better. Incredible, incredible. Every game was a nail-biter. And speaking about incredible, the fan support. Parents, grandparents, neighbors, students, administration, alumni, they packed the stands. Incredible, incredible. So I also wanted to congratulate those officials that were elected and re-elected last Tuesday. I also wanted to mention that the Mineola Fire Department is gearing up for their Operation Santa program. It's going to start on December the 8th and end on Saturday, December the 23rd, with the exception of Tuesday, December the 12th. Don't call the village hall, call the fire department. They will start taking calls next Monday, November 22nd. I'll give you the number, but I think we're gonna listen, Linda, I think we're gonna listen on the website maybe, the phone number?
The fire department will.
Oh, the fire department, okay, so the number's gonna be 516-830-2770. And finally, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you. Trustee Clark.
Also, congratulations to all our student athletes. They did a fantastic job. It's quite an achievement to have so many teams do so well. So congratulations to them. And I encourage you to come out to the parade on Wednesday, support the players and their families, and everyone have a very nice Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Salaski.
Again, congratulations to the teams, the band, the homecoming court, all of those. Great job, guys. I just have a couple of things. The Mineola Library is having a holiday backdrop photos where you can go and have your picture taken with the holiday backdrop from November 24th to December 2nd. Best part about it, it's free.
I love that.
So you just have to book a time slot. I think they're giving 20-minute time slots. So you can bring the little ones over. They say you can bring some props, small props if you want to do those. So take advantage of that. Also, starting November 24th, the library is having Toys for Tots. So if you can, bring an unwrapped gift over to the library to help those that are less fortunate than we are. And the Mineola Volunteer Ambulance Corps is having a holiday food drive until December 15th. You can just drop the food off at 170 Elm Place. And then for the seniors, probably the most important thing is the senior tax exemptions. There are 2 more days for those, November 18th and December 9th, and the hours are 9 to 12, and there will be people here to help you and answer some questions that you may have about the tax exemptions. That's it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That's all I have. We're going to open up to the public. Mrs. Glassman, would you like to? No? Okay. Nothing tonight. Okay. Okay. Well, then, thank you, everybody. Again, congratulations to all of the athletes and girls. Go get it. Bring it home for us. And we will see everybody on the parade. And other than that, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving for you and your family. Motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Trustee Clark.
Second.
Do I have a second? Second by Trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Good job, Janine.
I love the photo thing. Who thought of that? When I had little kids. But I was, there's no photographer. It's just the drop backdrop.